mentioned Black Lives Matter. I believed in them, like when they first came out. I really believed in them, and I believed in what they were saying. But then, as I watched them, I paid attention to the anger in their messages, and I started saying, "Uh-oh," because what I started seeing was people who sympathize with them start to fall off. Like, a lot of white people start to fall off because the more you heard the message, the more angrier it got. Now, it's true, you had people that joined into Black Lives Movement that weren't good for the Black Lives Matter movement, but people within that movement, you started hearing the anger and the frustration, and I'm thinking,
you know how they was fed that? Now they was fed the anger. You remember this group called Anonymous?
Yeah.
People with the white mask. Who is this?
I don't know. But this is my point.
But that was a distraction, even with them, because they kept feeding Black Lives Matter.
I know what they were doing. Those were the external forces that were working against Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
But internally, the way they delivered the message got more confrontation.
Radical.
Yeah, as it went along. And it was a guy. It's a guy in there. We were watching this documentary. This guy, he was a black man. What he was doing was going around talking to Klan members face to face. And he was actually, in that process, becoming friends with them. And they were giving up their clanships. They were turning in their masks. They were doing all this stuff. They were changing. But Black Lives Matter went to this guy and they showed it on film. And they got on, but you wasting your time, and how can you befriend this, and how can you do this and do that, and you ain't this and you ain't that, and just so negative and confrontational that they eliminated the dude as being, he wasn't genuine. He was Uncle Tom. You know what I mean? So I'm like, how does that make sense? How do you come to that if your goal is to change the world, to make black people matter, then you got to change minds? Okay, so he found a way to change a few minds, and he really genuinely changed the mind, because a lot of those people that were Klansmen now were speaking up, and they were going on film. One of the dude was a grand wizard. He was a grand wizard. He led it. He led a chapter.
He went to jail for doing some type of racist act on black people. He did like 8 years, and then this would really actually change him, because when he
my point, but go ahead. I want to get to my point. Go ahead. No, finish that.
But when he went to jail for his chapter, did whatever, boom, boom. But during those 8 years, like first couple years, he called his wife just to see how she was doing, and she said she couldn't get down there to visit this guy because he was like 4 or 6 hours away in jail. So he volunteered to take his wife and drive her all the way down there to visit her husband and drive her back. After that, they became friends, and through that, it actually changed. And then like they was on TV, remember they was on TV, and they actually said, we did one good thing with our kids. We did one great thing. We did a great job at destroying them with this hate.
This is what they said about the hate, because this guy took the time to affect them internally, affect their hearts. You don't change people externally first. They change on the inside. That takes time. So he took the time, and he actually changed these people. And these people are now going on TV and denouncing some of the stuff that they did. Now that was the method that he chose, and it was working on that small level. And that's only 30-something people, out the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
But he had more change than Black Lives Matter really had in the amount of time he was doing what he was doing. Now, where I got upset with Black Lives Matter is how they turned on him. Now you see it on the film, how they turned around. They called this man Uncle Tom. They called this man this and that. They told this man, how could you show yourself? How could you consider yourself black? And all this and that. But Black Lives Matter, when it came down to the election, you said that to him. When it came down to the election, you got in front of the cameras. Not just in front of the camera. You went all around the world, or all around the country, saying that if you don't get things your way, if they don't include some of our policies and incorporate some of our policies into their campaigns, then we're not going to vote for nobody. And that crushed us, because a lot of people followed that. A lot of people followed that. Now, I understand their thinking, but I just feel like had rationale been more prevalent in influencing the decisions, you would have never said that. You would have never said that. Because what happened was, we took ourselves completely out from having any impact in who our president's going to be now. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like when your anger and your emotions are driving you, those are the kind of decisions that you make.
That was an aggressive decision.
Yeah. It was an aggressive decision, and you drew a line that you had no recourse if somebody crossed it. So when you say that, I'm not going to do this unless you do that. What you going to do when they don't do it? The movement's over.
What happened to it? Like I said, I respect them when they came out because yeah, Black Lives Matter. But then again, to whom?
But
that's the other thing too.
But the Black Lives Matter,
To whom?
which actually, can I say something?
Yeah.
That actually started as a hashtag, but it started as Black Lives Matter, meaning the fact of when we get locked up by the police, it ain't just to pull your gun out and shoot. Where they've actually had many on record where white people had guns and this and that and kill people.
I understand how they rock and everything, but once you got that platform, right? Once they were put on this platform, and you on media, social media, you got people wearing the Black Lives Matter shirts. Now, once your platform got this big, what's the message? It's how you deliver your message.
Yes.
Bro, you caused more people to go to jail because it wasn't rallies, it was riots. It wasn't marches, it was madness.
Yeah, but see, some of those riots were not them, they were the people who came.
Yep.
This is their platform. How did you deliver your message? Because those people that came would have understood your message. If your message was clear, there would have been no problem there.
I wouldn't say that.
Why wouldn't it? Because the message wasn't loud and clear.
Because my message could be loud and clear, but you come here with your own agenda.
I mean, I agree with that too, but I understand what he's saying, because I understand what both of y'all saying, and they're both of them true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think, what do you think the impact would have been if it said Black Lives Matter to TOL at the end of that? Do you think that would have made any kind of difference?
Made a hell of a lot of difference.
What do you think?
It probably would have made a difference, yeah.
Yeah, but see, when you say Black Lives Matter, Black lives do matter. But you leave it open for people to say, well, what are you saying? Nothing else matters?
Yeah.
Our lives don't matter?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not what we're saying. But now you got to explain that.
Mm-hmm.
If you say Black Lives Matter too, or Black Lives Matter as well,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, Now you're not saying that you don't. You can't ask me, am I saying that your life don't matter? Because you said what I said. You heard what I said. Black lives matter too. Let's see what this is. Man, what time is it?